I'm here with Jeff, about to talk all things Corsair and Elgato. Jeff, how's your CES so far?
Pretty exciting. We've had quite a lot of launches or announcements that we've been covering from not just Elgato, but Corsair, Scuf, Origin, basically our entire family. So, yeah, it's been quite busy, but we're making it through. So, yeah.
Awesome, glad to hear it. Yeah, a huge year for you guys. So let's start off by talking about the 4K 60S Plus Elgato capture card.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, for the longest time, Elgato's been the capture card guys for almost 10 years now, and this is really the culmination of years of hard work because, you know, it's again, we're doing something that nobody else has done before, which is getting 4K 60 HDR footage over USB 3.0. And, you know, to do that, we had to put in what's called an HEVC encoder, which is basically, it's a complicated and expensive kind of thing that makes this whole thing possible,
Right.
but it lets us get the 4K over USB 3.0, so you can use it with not just a desktop, but a laptop now. And that HEVC also allows us to do something called standalone recording, which instead of using a computer period, you can write it directly, you can write your footage directly to an SD card. So, you know, our system over here, we just have a PS4 and a 4K 60S Plus, and it's just hooked into it, and you can press the big red button, it starts recording, you can take the SD card out, you have your footage. And so this is going to be really great for both like seasoned content creators who go to capture events, because gaming publishers are like, hey, would you like to record like our new upcoming game for promotion? And this is going to make that process a lot easier.
But yeah, they say that, but then they say, but you need to bring your own capture device, which previously then you would need like a Blackmagic or an Atomos or something like that to take with you in addition to a capture card. This is kind of a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and it's just a normal SD card, which you know,
Right.
pretty much everybody's used to. It's not like 2 terabytes of raw video data that you're like, how am I going to edit this? So
Totally.
it makes that process a lot easier. But then also going towards the other end, you know, it kind of makes 4K content creation available for anybody because let's say you don't have that powerful of a computer, you can still record that high quality footage and upload straight to YouTube. So that's going to really open up a lot of doors for and just make 4K accessible for everybody.
That's awesome. And when can we expect to see that in retail?
So Q1 of this year.
All right, love it. And I also see we're doing something new with Elgato's key light.
Yes, so last year at CES we announced the Elgato key light, which was the first key light or the first light optimized for content creators, and it really started from the mounting system up because traditionally content creators sort of co-opted equipment from the photography space, like, oh, let's grab these big soft boxes and light stands. But when you put it in a bedroom, it takes up like half the space, and like you can't have your desk against the wall or anything like that. And so it really started with, okay, how can we save some square footage here? And so we actually had a desk clamp mounting system, which saved tons of space. And you know, the response was really great for key light, but a lot of people are like, I can't quite get to that $200 price point. And so we wanted to make the power of key light more accessible with the key light Air. So it's a smaller, it's a desktop. It rests on your desktop, and it's $129.99 instead of $199.99. So
Great.
It's a little bit more than half the cost, but really it should open the doors for a lot more content creators to get good light for their setup, because not a lot of people realize that lighting plays the biggest part in your video quality. You could have $1,000 camera, but if you're in the dark, it's, you know, you can have a webcam look better than that. So with these lights, you can make a webcam look great too. So.
Yeah, I use a Logitech webcam, and because of my lighting setup, I constantly get compliments on, oh, what camera are you using? And really, it's just a webcam. But I see that this obviously has a larger footprint on your desktop than the clamp, but you're saving $70 at your price point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
And it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not quite sure if that's the jump that you want to make, it is an easier way to get into that. And who's not to say you can mix and match, right? Because one, the key light Air is compatible with a multi-mount, which you can buy separately.
Great.
So you could switch to that eventually. And you could also get one key light Air and one key light to do kind of like your traditional 2-point setup where you have your key light, not our key light, but our key light, and then your fill light.
Right.
Sometimes it's confusing calling everything a key light. But
well, and the base on the key light Air is still significantly smaller than if you were trying to set up a traditional softbox light kind of tripod setup.
And I mean the real cool thing about, you know, besides just like the cool controls that we've added where you can control it with your Stream Deck or your phone or your Windows or Mac computer, just the fact that we were able to add it's like 5 layers of diffusion and about that thick of a light So basically, it mimics the soft cast of lighting that a softbox provides, but because it's LED, it doesn't have the heat, so you're not like sweating after an hour into your stream.
Yep.
And it doesn't take up space because, again, if you're pushing your desk up against a wall, you don't want this big umbrella or softbox, just kind of knocking into things. So.
Yeah, if anyone's ever seen any photos of my personal setup, mine is the perfect example for what you're describing as softbox umbrella kind of falling into you while you're streaming, and it gets mighty toasty. So I think I'm definitely going to need to make an upgrade. All right, now tell me about this beautiful keyboard behind us.
Yeah, so that's the new Corsair K95 XT, and so this is kind of like the first of what kind of people were expecting since our acquisition with Corsair acquiring Elgato back in 2018 about like what kind of things we could do at a product level, and so the K95 has been a pretty flagship keyboard for the past few years, and we worked together with Corsair to get IQ to talk with our Stream Deck software. So now if you have a K95 Platinum Series RGB keyboard, it is now the G keys can be used in Stream Deck.
Oh my goodness!
It's a completely free thing. So if you already have that version of the K95, or if you decide to get the new version that was announced and launched yesterday, you can basically make it a lot more powerful. And so you can control your camera angles, your graphics, and everything. And what's also cool is while there aren't LCD screens on those buttons, we actually made a little overlay that just overlays on top of your game or your desktop, so you can actually kind of reference it quickly and be like, okay, this is how I turn on my key light, or this is how I switch to my full screen camera scene. So we're trying to think of the little details that really make that integration a lot more compelling.
And for those of you who have not used a Stream Deck before, it will change your life. So having that functionality built into the K95 is huge. And okay, and you guys also had a video that went sort of viral, we'll say, yesterday. It got a lot of buzz. You had a video yesterday that got a lot of buzz. Tell me about that.
So yesterday we announced something we call Project Wave, which is coming in spring of 2020. And it's kind of a teaser video, so we just have to let people draw their own conclusions on what it might be. But there's quite a few little audio elements that you see in the video, so there's been quite a lot of guesses of people saying what it is, but we think that people will be pleasantly surprised once we have the more details to come later this year.
Okay, do you have any Newegg exclusive hints you can give us about what it might be?
I actually posted this on Twitter the other day where all I did was 3 emojis.
What 3 emojis?
The wave emoji,
okay,
the speaker emoji, and fire, because it's lit.
All right, guys, so leave your guesses in the comments below. Awesome. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for chatting with us today, and have a great CES.
Thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.